Greetings, fellow lovers of felt sock puppets and whatnot. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
AdvBlueDude.
And we're doing our second in our monumental, our anticipated, and our built up, our bucket list of podcasts, the Muppet Movie Month. And my camera is not cooperating with me at all. I apologize. We're doing the Muppet Movie Month. It's all part of the Muppet charm. I anticipated this. You know, I was like, camera, you're gonna mess up because that's what happens with the Muppets. They mess up. It's all part of the charm. So we're here to talk about the second Muppet movie, the sequel to the Muppet Movie. Coincidentally enough. This was directed by Jim Henson. This was released, I believe, right after the show was canceled, correct?
In 1981.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, it's the Great Muppet Caper. Yes. So without further ado, it's time to roll the film. Get moving right along.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. All right. How are you guys doing tonight? You ready to talk some Henson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
BlueDragonFive's like... BlueDragonFive's all into it, and then AdvBlueDude's just like... Yeah. Alright, so we have the Great Muppet Caper. This is the, like I said, the direct sequel to the Muppet Movie. What do you guys all think about this one?
I love this one.
Oh yeah.
So much.
It's great. So, with that in mind, we have a whole list of categories to go through. So with that, we will start with to the screenplay.
Certainly.
We have to get the audience up to speed on the exposition. Why are you telling me all this? Oh, it's the exposition, darling. It's got to go somewhere. So there you go. Without further ado, BlueDragonFive.
Okay, let me walk you through a little screenplay here, kind of the Cliff Notes version of it. So basically, our movie in this case is we start the movie off seeing Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo. They're reporters tracking the Lady Holiday jewelry heist, the jewelry robbery, at the beginning of the movie. They track the story all the way to London, and in the process, they mistake Lady Holiday for Miss Piggy, eventually finding themselves through that misidentification, eventually finding themselves wrapped up in a dastardly caper to steal the baseball diamond. Literally. A caper only Muppet involvement can foil in the nick of time. That's the movie in a nutshell.
All right. So, with that, we asked the daring question that we ask every episode of Muppet Movie Month. How we felt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get it? Because
So-
felt and Muppets and felt is in feelings.
So what are our feelings and experience of this movie all around? Adventure Bluto, and we start with you.
Oh, great. This is the one that I am least versed in.
So, I'm glad we had you on for this.
I'm sorry you asked me, and I obliged.
I know.
I gave you a
think these are
disclaimer.
special occasions. I think these are special occasions, so I
Yeah.
think we need to have people, more than two people on. All right.
This was the movie that had always eluded me. It was the movie that I'd seen at Sesame Place but could never actually own. And eventually I watched it. And it was good. It was a good movie. I mean, all the movies are good, with a few exceptions. But yeah.
Well, we have a running tally that I'll get to in a second of, examples of why Muppets in space should have never happened.
I mean...
And that's essentially every time they allude to Gonzo just being whatever the hell he is.
I still think you're overly harsh on Muppets from Space.
No, I am not overly harsh on space.
Muppets from Space is not a good film.
No, it's not.
Okay, it's not.
I mean...
It's the black sheep of the Muppets film.
We'll
is.
get to it.
But it's in no way is it, the worst film ever.
I mean, it's not like this movie is fresh on my mind because a Nostalgia Critic just did a review of it. To date the podcast, good for me. But Garfield, it's not as bad as something like Garfield or something like that. Certainly not. I'm saying in terms of Muppet movies, Muppet Movie is here, and Muppets in Space is there. So yeah. But anyways, we're talking about a movie that's basically here. You know what I mean? Is that more of an appropriate estimation?
Your gestures mean nothing to me because I can't see your picture.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's my laptop.
I think it's because you're looking down.
No, it just shows his avatar.
Can you see it, BlueDragonFive?
I can see it.
It's my laptop. It's not
So
you.
what do you think? Since you're the bigger fan of this,
I think it's, to be honest with you, for me, this one, I guess I'll get into how I felt about it with that gesture.
Would you say that maybe it's like
Yeah, I mean,
this incredibly scientific and well thought out grading scale?
I think it's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically for me, these two are kind of neck and neck. This one and the first one are neck and neck, because these are my two absolute favorite Muppet movies, and every time I watch Muppet Caper, I love it even more. It always makes it hard for me to say if I like it more than the Muppet Movie, because I think Muppet Movie is such historically kind of this great, kind of almost, I would go as far, maybe say perfect. Yeah, I think it's a perfect movie. I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's untouchable, I think, in terms of, like, it's the classic Muppet movie. It's the movie that brought us the Rainbow Connection.
Again, it's the non-ironic Wizard of Oz of a new generation.
Exactly. Oh, God, why did they have to go and do that? They had the Muppet Wizard of Oz. It was called the Muppet Movie.
Yeah, I blame ABC for that one. I think it was ABC. It might have been NBC.
It was a. But I mean, it was really Disney's fault.
Yeah,
in the end.
That's before they got a clue what to do with the Muppets.
Well, even still, they don't really know. But they're getting there.
Well, we'll see how the show works, because of course the show is the reason why we're like, hey, we should do Muppet Movie Month finally.
Yeah. Anyway, so my point is, like, speaking of my ties to this movie, see, I've got a whole lot of nostalgic love for it. I got a big affinity for this. Again, I think I would go as far as to say, this might be a controversial thing to say, but we get a lot of good Muppet movies. Again, some better than others, definitely. This to me is the funniest Muppet movie. I will say that hands down. To me, this.
I will meet you on that. I think that's not far off.
So whether it's my favorite or not, again, it's always neck and neck with the original form. This I can say hands down is to me at least is the funniest Muppet movie. You know, I love.
Obviously, the first one has all the nostalgia and all kind of like the classic vibe to it. I think this is the one where it's like, it's so rewatchable, and every time you see it,
exactly.
It's like there's little jokes and stuff that you just did not catch. And
like I love this movie every time I watch. You know, I love it even more.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel the same way about the Muppet Movie as well.
I think if I were to kind of boil it down to a statement, maybe it would be like it's a travel adventure. It's kind of like a traveling adventure movie coated in comedic mundanity, and I love the comedic mundanity within this kind of this traveling adventure.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's also a good send-up of, you know, a little bit of film noir mixed in with a little bit of James Bond.
Yeah, when I say traveling adventure, I mean like the adventure in terms of like it's kind of like a big old caper sort of thing. It's like it's an event, you know, it's like this big kind of intrigue mystery type thing. It's not like
and the mystery is like the most easy to solve thing ever, and that's totally part of the joke.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, it's a caper though, more so than the mystery though. It's like a caper in terms of like there's plans afoot, and you got to foil those plans. You know, that's caper to a T.
Exactly.
And in my opinion, there's not a bad scene in this thing. I don't really think there's bad scene.
Which is interesting, because we can go back to the Muppets movie and we can say, like, well, that one scene with Miss Piggy and Kermit was, you know, that slowed it down a little bit.
That's the thing, it's not bad, it's just slow. That's the thing, that's not even a bad scene. It slows it down a little.
Right.
It's the worst thing.
But compared to the other scenes.
We were having a good time in that movie. It just means, you get more movie after that scene, so it's fine. You know? Okay, anyway, and basically this is like one of my two holy grail Muppet VHS tapes. You know, it was the original and this one, and then later on I got the Muppet Fairy Tales thing.
Oh, I have that one.
Yeah, that one. Those are basically my three VHS tomes, if you will. My tomes of VHS, because they're like books. Like again, I told you they're like bookshelf books. You know, they're like study library books. You know, you just like put them in there for a wondrous display.
So I think we can all agree this is a strong Muppet movie. Let's go to AdvBlueDude. You already kind of said that you don't really, like, you kind of were alluded to this movie as a kid. But I guess in terms of me, like, to tell you the truth, I was kind of a similar way where I never owned it, and I kept hearing, like, oh, The Great Muppet Caper. That sounds like a really good title. By the way, let's just give it props right now. How awesome is that opening title sequence in terms of like pushing the boundaries of like, let's break the fourth wall.
Let's not talk about it too much.
Okay. But yeah.
So that was your experience
now. My experience.
Your nostalgic experience with it. or your experience with it?
Well, like I said, I saw the Great Muppet Caper, great title and everything. And then I think the first time I saw it was actually on TV when I was about 8 years old, something like that. I want to say it was on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And I remember the thing that stuck out to me the most, and this is kind of like, because remember, the fork in the road was my first Muppet gag.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the thing that stuck out to me the most, and this kind of goes to show like that my sense of humor was getting a little bit more sophisticated, was the whole thing with Fozzie and Kermit being twin brothers. Because I just thought that was the most. I was like, but they don't look anything alike.
Yeah.
So I think my taste was maturing as a kid. I think
I'm
I
with
get
you. The
into
twins
a
gag
little
is
bit more of the
priceless to me
absurd,
still.
a little bit more of the absurdist kind of humor that the Muppets brings to the table, and not, the fork in the road is more of just kind of a silly sight gag, whereas the twin gag is just straight up absurd, and there's no reason to have it, but it brings so much wacky humor to the movie.
Because it's
there.
played so straight, that's why it works. That's why it's so brilliant. It's like, oh yeah, I see it now. It's like the wonderful running gag conceit of the movie. Like, oh yeah, in this movie they're twin brothers, they're twins. It's like, oh well, put your hat back on, Fozzie. Oh yeah, oh now I see it.
All right. So what's your nostalgic experience?
Well, I went through mine.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
The transition, we did the hand thing, remember?
Good job on me. So let's go on to characters of charisma, where we talk about the Muppet characters. Of course, that's always a main draw of the Muppets, is what kind of character they have, what their personalities are like. And I feel like it's interesting because, as we already established in the first Muppet movie, like, movie per movie, these all take place in entirely different, like, continuities from each other. And yet, somehow, I feel like the character development almost kind of carries over in a quite weird way.
And quite brilliantly, the heroes definitely right from the gate. They make reference to the fact that they are in a movie and they're right in the midst of the movie itself going on here. Because last movie we saw they're screening a biopic of themselves, and
Sure.
here it's like, yeah, we're in a sort of a movie now. That's what's going on, folks, and that's why basically that's why we're twins and stuff. That's why things are different than you usually know them to be. Because we're in a movie, and that's why we would ordinarily, basically addressing the whole continuity of things. So again, some good fourth wall breaking meta stuff. So yeah, that's why this is the first time, yet again, I'm meeting Miss Piggy.
Exactly.
Clever stuff
That's
like that.
going to be a running thing throughout these movies.
And with that, we get kind of interesting little kind of variations on our Muppet characters here, and kind of what's likable about them in this movie going around. So let's see. Let's start with Kermit the Frog.
All right, so he's just I'd say he's almost kind of like the Humphrey Bogart type character in this movie,
Yes.
in a way.
In love. In this movie, he's in love. Last movie, he didn't really have that. I mean, he was in love, but it was less of like the main focus. It was just more so he's going to Hollywood, making people laugh.
Except for in a couple of particular moments where things get nasty between him and Miss Piggy.
Which we'll get into. But the point is, it's a love story. We can agree on that much. It is a love story with Kermit, this movie.
I mean, it's definitely it's definitely in the same style as something like Casablanca.
Yes.
Or something like, just one of those Bogart type movies. And I kind of went through a Bogart phase about 6 months ago, so I'm very familiar with that.
Now that you say Bogart, I can definitely see where you're getting that from. I think it's kind of a good comparison. Because I think Kermit in this movie, particularly with his characterization, because before he meets Miss Piggy in the movie, you can tell he's an ace reporter. Well, at least an aspiring ace reporter. And you can see with that, it's kind of an interesting side of Kermit we really haven't seen that much, is that, in this movie he's really ambitious, yet polite, he's as polite and lovable as Kermit the Frog is, but he's very ambitious. He says, Mr. I forget what Wagner's character's called. Oh, God.
I got it.
What you got?
Wait, whose character?
The editor, Jack Wagner. Sorry, not Wagner. Warden Jack.
Mike took Tarkanian.
Yeah, right. Mike.
Oh, Mr. Tarkanian.
Yes. Yeah. Well, but yeah, basically, he's telling them, Mr. Tarkanian, we'll get you that. We'll get you a story. We'll go all the way to London for it. Who's dime? He flies in there for $12.
I think it just kind of at the core of like the Fozzie and Kermit and Gonzo dynamic is the whole idea of, and I think Gonzo definitely emphasizes this the most, but like Gonzo, his whole running thing is that he's always taking pictures of things that just would not make news at all.
Yes.
And but I feel like in a way that's kind of like the whole charm of Kermit is that he's just kind of like in a different way. Like with Gonzo, it's played more for laughs. So if Kermit's just like, well, you know, twin brothers, snap investigative reporters, that'd make a snappy, that'd make a really good story.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like he's kind of like the optimistic, kind of wide-eyed young reporter. You know what I mean? Kind of like a young.
So this is, you see Kermit here does believe in justice here, you know, he's a, Kermit who's like has ideals and he's ambitious, and he's striving for like things that, ultimately he's striving for some justice too after Miss Piggy gets incarcerated.
Sure.
You know, so the guy has some beliefs there and he wants to help at the end of the day. He kind of gets the plan to save the day in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Okay, so let's, I guess, go to Fozzie.
All right, with Fozzie, like I said, I think the twin brother thing is just, you know, it's
an interesting thing, though, is looking at their relationship and the progression here. I'm not saying it's like a direct progression. I'm saying looking at where it was last time, where it is this time. That
what are you talking about? It's absolutely direct continuity.
Fozzie Bear in this, you know, they're playing with this idea that they're brothers. It's kind of interesting seeing, like, you know, it's a friendship and it's a really good friendship partnership in the first movie. In this movie, it's just really kind of this brother idea that, you know, these are guys who've been raised their whole life and they have this fun little shtick that, you know, they're twins. And Fozzie in this movie, he seems really dependent on Kermit because he wants to be with him during all these things. And I think another thing that's kind of seeded in with Fozzie as a character, we don't see that all that often, but you know, occasionally shows up now and again, like in the TV Christmas movie. You see Fozzie, you know, he kind of gives he kind of brings, in this movie definitely brings kind of the morality and kind of the big speech moment of the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
he has a couple really good moments.
Yeah, so Fozzie definitely in this movie, kind of following this brother concept. He's really supportive of Kermit because you know they're brothers and he wants to be there for him and help him when he can. In this movie, he kind of gives the inspiring speech to kind of get everyone after say, "I'm out, I'm giving up." And he says, "Oh, shame on you!
Shame on you!"
I absolutely love. Seriously, this is a really great moment in the movie, by the way. It's so great. Again, when I revisiting the movie, it kind of dawned on me that, you know, with these moments, they are hilarious and really smartly crafted, really kind of brilliantly crafted. By the way, writer of this movie, there were like a bunch of writers on this movie. One of them was Tom Patchett, the Alf writer, the main Alf writer.
Oh, okay, nice.
That's kind of neat to know. I mean, I think a lot of the humor came from that guy on this one in particular. Maybe that's why it stands out a lot. Maybe.
I'm sure.
And there were a lot of writers. I'm sure a lot of them pitched in most definitely. But anyway, point is, like, I love Fozzie in this moment. Like, it's a comedic moment, but it has the drama applied to it too, of like him saying, "We're not gonna." It's such a simple message, but it's heavy. You know, he's him saying, "We're not gonna let the bad guys win, are we?"
No, absolutely.
I mean, It's a big old fourth wall breaking moment, but it's pretty funny. I mean, no, we can't let the bad guys win. It's a happy movie after all, isn't it?
I think my other favorite moment with Fozzie in this movie is when he's talking to Kermit about like, oh, we're gonna have a really good time on the town, just the two of us, waka waka.
Yeah.
And then Kermit, he's like, well, Fozzie, you know, it's my date. I was gonna go alone. And I love how it's like they have the whole, Fozzie's all sad, cue the sad hope music for Fozzie.
Yeah, but he's there for him though. He understands though. He's a big boy about it.
He is, but he's still got leftover feeling about it. I like how, you know, they have a whole song about getting Kermit ready and everything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I love the payoff of that. I absolutely love the moment where, where Fozzie, it's obvious, he's, like you said, he's supporting Kermit, but it's obvious he's a little let down by the whole thing. And
yes,
Kermit, and this just goes to show just the stand-up frog that Kermit is. He's just like, Fozzie, you can go. And of course, Fozzie takes it out of proportion. He goes and invites literally the whole Happiness Hotel and gets them on the action.
Well, you know, that's an amphibian we can get behind, though.
Oh God, yes, I love that moment.
But with that though, it just shows you that's kind of realistic, kind of brotherly bond they're kind of going for with it too. I mean, if you look at them in the grand scheme of things, I mean, they are kind of brotherly when you look at it. It's like Fozzie's always there for Kermit no matter what. So it's a neat thing. They work well together. They're a great
Of course,
comedy.
they always have that running thing with where Fozzie's always being like, "Yes, sir."
Yes, of course. I mean, yeah, and also I love in the beginning there, like they'll have references in this movie saying that, like, well, we saw in the beginning, we see this hilarious photograph, which just kind of communicates. I'm sure the
Oh my
kids,
God.
when they first saw this, like, I can't remember it myself. I'm pretty sure we must have some sort of reactions watching this at some point. Just realized, oh my God, what is that? So basically, you see an image of just the idea that Mr. Jack Ward's character. I remember it's a trip to Turkey.
Tarkarian.
Tarkarian, thank you. Turkinian, thank you. Turkinian.
BlueDragonFive, our fact checker for the episode.
He is. That's why he's there,
Knowledgeable,
folks.
but also the most knowledgeable.
See, that's why.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
The point is, Mr. Tarkarian there. He basically fires the guys because they missed out on pretty much everything that went on in the scene was like would have made it for a good story, but they missed all of it entirely for a chicken. And basically says, "I'm boys, I only kept you around because I knew it was close to your old man." He pulls out a picture of him with his arm around a green Fozzie bear with Kermit the Frog eyes,
Oh my God.
looking basically the idea that's their father. And it's kind of the reverse when you think about it, but I'm not going to go into it.
Oh no.
Point is, it's really hilarious though. Is that idea like saying, "Oh yeah, mom liked me best" or something like that, saying, "Oh yeah, well we're handsome, we look exactly alike." All that runner is going through that thing. It's the idea that they are close and they get a sense they've grown up together. So I
love the moment where Kermit is all sad on the bench, and then the dad and his daughter walk by. It's just like,
Hey, look,
oh,
Dad.
look at the bear. Oh, that's not a bear, sweetie. That's a frog. Bears wear hats.
Yeah, that is hysterical. One of the best lines of the movie, by the way, probably.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, but he says it's also just showing you again that kind of that Fozzie is always going to be dependent on Kermit. He needs Kermit on some level, and that's something that kind of carries over to the other Muppet movies, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, yeah, so it's Gonzo's not a lot to him. Essentially, I kind of equated Gonzo to being Kramer of this movie.
No, I think there's a little bit more to him than that. Like I said, I think with Gonzo, he definitely had a more emotional arc in the Muppet movie, for sure.
Well, certainly.
But I think the charm of his character, as I already kind of hinted at, was, he's always, like, looking at these really small type of, like, and I'm not, like, to me, there's kind of a certain, like, a mix of, like, oh, it's really funny, it's absurd that Gonzo's taking pictures of, all these, like, tiny little things, like the chicken and the, and then whatever. And he's doing a portfolio on people's ankles or something like that at one point.
No, but that is Gonzo, though. That's something he would do, though. I'm not just writing him off. I'm just saying I think that's a good likening to, because Kramer is like a guy, he devotes himself to these weird ideas and he sticks to it. And I think he's very kind of Kramer-like in a good way. And also, he's very helpful.
There's just a certain kind of charm in just seeing Gonzo, just like he's not the greatest photographer, but god darn it, he cares a lot about his work and he's really enthusiastic.
Do you think he's single in this?
That's an interesting question, because Camilla, she's in it, but she's not really like I love Gonzo's relationship with Camilla in the Muppet movie. Oh my god, I think they played that off so well.
I think he's single. I don't know. He took a picture of a strange chicken. I don't know. He might be just friendly.
Oh god.
I'm not sure if it's like a model thing or if it's just like he's like, hey, poultry.
Yeah. Picture Blue Dude, you have any thoughts on Gonzo?
Not really. I mean, you've kind of already covered it. Where he's definitely more comedic character in this film, but he still has purpose. Obviously.
Yeah, he's very helpful plot-wise.
Exactly.
Taking all the pictures. And also, it's something interesting to point out here is with kind of Gonzo and especially going to the series we're going to be talking about ultimately at the end of all this. You'll notice Gonzo, he doesn't like Miss Piggy in this movie.
No.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting thing with Gonzo that he just like he just. I love this. Gonzo's so callous about it. Like, she lied to us, so maybe she lied. She did actually lie to us.
Right.
Why should we trust her? She lied to us. So Gonzo's the realist. Like, no second chances for Gonzo. You don't cross him. No. He's at least in this movie. Okay, so speaking of the pig herself, let's talk about Miss Piggy. Yeah.
Miss Piggy!
One of us, Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy.
Oh my god. I know you can't wait to get into him.
I can't wait.
Yeah, right.
So, similar to Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, she's very ambitious in this movie. You know, she has her portfolio of her own. You try to be a model,
dear.
which kind of, interestingly enough, you know, in Muppets later on, she becomes a plus-size model.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Illusions of grandeur.
she definitely gets involved in kind of a liar reveal type of story, but I don't think it's bad at all.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Especially because of the way they play it off. You know, it's not like a major part of the movie. It's like maybe like 15 minutes where Kermit thinks that she's Lady Holiday.
Well, that's the thing. I think in the scene we're going to be talking about, I think that's the resolution to it. I think it's fine, not negative.
Exactly. But I like the idea of her having her own career and that kind of like bleeding over into both Miss Piggy as like an actress within the Muppet universe and Miss Piggy as a character within the Muppet universe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like she wants. It's kind of funny if you think about it. Now it just occurred to me. It's kind of like the glitterati of the Muppet universe. You know, it's just that you have these Muppet celebrity status. Like Miss Piggy, I can just imagine might be like a side movie. Maybe we'll see some of this explored on a TV level with the.
I'm sure we will.
Like,
because she has her own talk show and everything.
Yeah, like
begins, or when the TV show begins.
Like certainly Miss Piggy, she's probably gonna be like she's holding out for the best parts. And like imagine a movie from Muppet's agent's perspective. You know, he's like, oh no, she doesn't do that sort of thing. Of like, no, she only wants she wants the Kathleen Turner parts. You know, that's what she wants. You know, she wants the romancing the stone movie. She doesn't want anything.
The agent that interrupted the dinner in the Muppet movie, that agent.
Yes. Let's see that guy's movie. Well, let's see Walter become her agent. There's a movie for you.
And then Steve Martin's still there. He's still taking the phone calls.
Let's see Steve Martin and Kermit the Frog go on a road movie again. Let's see that happen.
Oh, hell yeah. And Steve Martin's just got a whole collection of, like, a whole suitcase full of, like, short shorts.
No, I'm saying he has, like, 10 costume changes, and like Miss Piggy is just differently each scene. Anyways, let's see.
He has a different career each scene.
Right. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. He'd be like the Roger the Alien of the Muppet universe. You know?
Exactly.
Anyways, also we see that Miss Piggy in this movie, she's framed. You know, she's wrapped up in kind of the main plot, so she is kind of she has a bigger role than she had in the Muppet movie when you think about it.
No, she does. You're right. Because in the Muppet movie, she's just kind of there, like, oh, it's the love interest.
Yeah. It's kind of fun the way they kind of mock that in that movie too. Like, we need a love interest. We're gonna have her. It's gonna take some time to make her funny though. And here it's like, well, no, she's very integral to the plot. And we see Miss Piggy got a very strong resolve. She's no damsel in distress. You know, she's in prison. It seems all scary, but no, she saves the day in the end. You know, like
absolutely.
Of course, and this kind of started the trend that she has to. Well, actually, no, I guess the Muppet movie started the trend, but like she's the action star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, she does pull like some Evel Knievel stunts in this movie.
She does.
Literally. Red, white,
right.
blue. Okay. That's a quick rapid fire on the other guys because they don't really have a lot in this.
No, I feel like, what do you guys think of the whole idea of, like, making this more of a, you know, a starring vehicle as opposed to an ensemble piece with the 4 Muppet characters?
I think it's fine, because we get our Muppet fix with the other guys. We're seeing them.
Yeah, BlueDragonFive.
No, I really like that because it gives the film a little bit more focus, I think.
Allows for more character development, a little bit more emotion.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's pointless with the Muppets, but for this film specifically, I think it works.
Okay. I love seeing Pops.
Yeah, as well, yeah.
Right.
Because remember, he was from the Muppet Show. He's the guy who took the tickets and stuff. And he was like, yeah, Pops, yeah.
All right, I remember, like, all of them are pretty much confined to the Happiness Hotel.
Well, Beauregard we should probably talk about, because this is kind of his grand. He was in the Muppet Show before. This is kind of like his grand, like, now we remember this guy.
And, of course, the thing that I remember the most about Beauregard is that he was the one Muppet that actually wanted to go on rides in the Muppets Go to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, this Beauregard, he's kind of the really bad driver in London, you know, and says, what floor? Take us to the Happiness Hotel. What floor? I can only take you as far as the lobby.
I can only take you to the lobby.
Oh man, and of course Beauregard had the line of the whole movie. He had the best line of the whole movie.
Which is?
Someone says, we gotta catch them red-handed. What color are their hands now? Beauregard, I will say hands down, Beauregard has the best line in the movie.
I don't know. I think there's all
I'm saying they're all great
fine.
lines. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that's a great
Comedy
line.
is subjective.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. To me, that's like probably the standout gag. One of the standout.
I think the gag about the bear in the hat is funnier.
I'll give you that. It is hysterical. I'm saying they're both good. You might be right. That one's probably funnier, but this one just it's so iconic though for this movie. Like, what color are their hands now? It comes back too. This one comes back a lot.
Well, this one has a lot of good running jokes.
Yeah.
A lot of good ones. I really like the running joke with the mattress.
Oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Oh, that when I was a kid, I thought that was the most awesome thing in the world. Yeah, a mattress that retracts into a wall. Yeah.
The fabulous baseball diamond.
Oh,
yeah,
that
so
gag was just—it's such a fun. Yeah, there are tons of running gags. We can't devote too much time to talking about them.
No.
There are tons of them. They're hilarious.
Adventure Blue Dude, let me pitch a little bit of an armchair Imagineering concept to you that I got watching this movie.
Okay.
Muppet's Tower of Terror.
I'd buy it.
At the Happiness Hotel,
Yeah,
which is expanded into a tower, but all hell is going wrong with it, and it's just in complete disrepair. Rizzo is the bellhop. Appropriately enough. All right.
This is their introduction, by the way.
Is Rizzo in the vehicles?
Yes,
Okay.
just like Droopy would be in the vehicles in the Toontown Hotel.
Is there Pops?
Yes, of course, Pops would be in the lobby.
Good.
An animatronic of Pops would be in the lobby.
Who's operating the elevator?
Rizzo.
Ah, right, sorry.
Can we get obscure?
Of course we could get obscure.
Can we bring back George the janitor, because everyone forgets him and that makes me sad.
Well, Beauregard's the janitor in the Muppet Show, though.
Whoa! Hold on there, bud.
Who's one of them?
Season 2 he is. Season 1's the year of George.
All right, fine.
We can put him in
was
there.
fun.
We can put him in there, like, because of course, Tower of Terror, the lobbies are always known for being filthy.
Beauregard had that hilarious moment with Gene Kelly. You know, he was funny with Gene Kelly as the janitor.
Which one?
All right.
The Gene Kelly episode, he has like the whole he's foreseen the future, and it's like the doomsday, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyway, fair enough. I forgot about George. I'm sorry.
Okay. I absolutely freaking love the minimal time that we get of Sam Eagle.
Oh yes, he has the best cameo ever.
It's great.
He has the best cameo ever in the movie. I don't know, we can't count as a cameo because he's a regular Muppet.
No, we can't count him as a cameo, but it's a cameo within this movie.
It's like the cameo he should have had in the Muppet movie, and it's here.
Right.
Okay. So,
You don't
I
want
guess...
to go into the cameo?
Oh, well, I mean, sure, that's good.
Okay, so at the end of this big Happiness Hotel song that we'll get into later.
Well, he has two cameos. He has two great cameos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
I'm talking about the second one.
Well, I think they kind of tie into each other. So Sam
sure.
first pokes his door. He pokes his head out the door like, "You are a bunch of weirdos."
Yeah, he's the one who can say, when everybody says weirdos, I think I almost want to say he coined that phrase because it just sounds so classic when he says weirdos. You know?
I know. And then, of course, it takes us through the payoff to that.
I love the payoff. Okay, so basically, after Fozzie gives his awesome speech, and it's a simplistic speech, but it sounds really nice though. So we can't let the bad guys win. You know, shame. You know, I'm in. It's actually also a really emotional moment. Kind of when they're all, it's like semi-emotional moment. They're all saying, "I'm in." Like they're all instantly giving up, and now like they've been inspired, saying, "I'm in." So am I. So am I. Yeah, and they're all in, and then basically at the end it's like, "Man, that took a lot out of me." And then basically San Diego pops his head and says, "I am proud to." Moments like this make me proud to be American. Something like that.
I mean, he's not going to join in, but he's proud of them, you know.
Yes, and then he leaves. He doesn't stick around to help. He leaves.
Exactly. That's what cracks me up the most. He's proud to be an American, but he doesn't chip in.
And that means he's truly proud. He's truly proud to be an American.
He's so proud that he's not going to help out at all.
Buddying America. Okay. So now
Hold on, I have one quick thing. So Janice, I actually think has a standout moment.
Yeah, she does.
Oh my god,
this is almost like a meme or something. Like everyone loves this. A lot of people talk about this moment, and I think it comes back in. Doesn't it come back in the next one we talk about?
It might.
I think it does.
I think in most of the older Muppet movies, she has a weird moment like that.
Yeah, I think it's like the
Right.
same gag though. I think they call back to it. I could be wrong, but anyways, it's a similar moment. Go
So it's during the kind of classic sort of Muppets thing where
They're all
there's a big
chaos.
commotion, and then Kermit, he does the whole quiet, and then everyone shuts up except Janice.
He goes to
And
finish her thing.
I think we've all been in this situation at some point, like when
Well, this
we're
is
in
comedy
class. And,
101.
yeah, when we're in class and the teacher shushes the class, and then you happen to be the last person to finish it. And I love the context. She's just like, we have no context for it at all, but she's just like, and I was thinking I could get a beach house in Malibu so I could just walk around naked
Wow,
on the beach.
Remember, it's like, no, she's actually hashing it out with her mother. It's like, so
Oh,
I tell
God.
my mother, it's my life if I want to rent a beach house and walk around naked or something like that.
It does show back up at Muppets Take Manhattan,
Yeah.
That's great.
but it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
Cross movie running gag.
Okay.
Well, no, she just has similar ambitions.
Yes.
I guess really quick question about Rizzo. Like,
Yeah.
was the whole thing that Rizzo was like, are there a bunch of mice that are all named Rizzo, or is there one mouse named Rizzo?
There's just
Like,
one rat named Rizzo.
There's only one Rizzo.
There's one. They all have
Okay.
different. They all have different names and stuff. It's just like we don't even know if Rizzo's.
Oh
specific.
wait,
You'll meet
I'm
them all
sorry,
in
I'm
Muppets,
sorry,
Muppets
because-
Take Manhattan.
They get
Right.
like he officially gets introduced in Manhattan. I mean, they're here. I mean, they're all the
but
rat
but
concept.
those other rats, they do come back in Christmas Carol too.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Like,
moving on.
do we know exactly if Rizzo's one of these guys, or we just assume Rizzo's one of them?
I would assume that Rizzo.
I know we assume, but I mean, is it like any indication that Rizzo anyone have a speaking role?
Yes, I think you hear his voice. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay, just curious.
I believe he's in the credits. Yes.
Speaking of Rizzo, let's talk about
He is
Rizzo's
in the
pal.
credits.
Let's talk about Rizzo's pal
Rizzo's power.
in our next segment. His pal from the Disney special week.
You're confusing the hell out of me.
Never mind. I'll bring it up when we get to it.
Steve Whitmire's other character.
No,
The Great
no,
Muppets Caper?
it's lost.
Don't make those obscure jokes. I'm not gonna know what you're talking about, man.
Let's just get
All
to
right.
it.
Is it Zoot?
No.
Okay, standout stars. Standout stars. This is a segment where we talk about the main human actors that make up the cast of these Muppet movies. Some can be great, some can be not so great. Muppet Treasure Island, except for Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Is it Dr. Bunsen Honeydew?
No. We'll build to it later, okay? I'll build to it. Save him for the second one, okay? We're just gonna get to the first lady.
Okay. So what do you got?
Let's start with we just got Diane Rill here as is it Diane Rigg or Rill?
Rig.
Rigg. Hate my hand.
Technically, it's Rig.
Hate my handwriting so much. Diane Rigg as Lady Holiday. You know, she does a good job.
Yeah, she doesn't have much, but I think she does a good job with what she works with. Of course, I already mentioned it, but I love the whole fourth wall break. Like, oh, it's the exposition. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, she's a
I don't
famous
know,
British
like-
fashion designer who has been the victim
Yeah.
of the heist, and I think she plays it well.
I don't necessarily think she's got a lot to work with in the movie.
Absolutely.
Certainly. Yeah, charming enough. You know, nothing real fancy or bad, but you know, she serves a role, does it okay.
Sure. I think, of course, the main role that she serves is kind of being, like, connected to Piggy and kind of bringing Piggy into the...
And she's kind of the reason
Into the
for our
story.
MacGuffins and stuff. You know, she's like the big plot thing. Gets the Muppets there.
And I also really like that the jewels get stolen during the opening song.
Yes.
Hmm.
My jewels. Yes. Okay. Let's talk about the main, kind of the big comedic force of this
let's
movie.
bring them out.
I've been waiting for this.
I know you have. I know.
Yes, the wonderful, the talented, the previously seen in that little you and I have talked about the Muppets Go to Disney special.
Muppets Go to Walt Disney World. You mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And in that one, Rizzo is paired off with him in that one. That's what I was getting at. Obscure reference. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Wonderful,
sorry.
the talented Charles.
It's been a while.
So Charles Charles Grodin in this movie as Nick Holliday. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
And he does the Bryan Cranston route of not just eating the scenery, but basically taking big ice cream scoops full of scenery and just shoving it in his mouth.
I gotta tell you, just when you mentioned that, I really want Bryan Cranston to be one of the guest stars in the new Muppet Show. I want that so much, and it may be feasible. I don't know.
Bryan Cranston as Walter White on the new Muppet Show.
Yeah, maybe if they make a Breaking Bad reference and he looks like Walter White. I don't know if they
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're shooting, like, the Breaking Bad movie, or he's like, I have to go film my Better Call Saul cameo, or something.
That's the thing. He would have to shave his head, though, for that, though.
Right.
I never realized that Charles Grodin was in Cranium Command.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the big thing. Kids and everyone we may know Charles Grodin from. Everyone knows him from the Beethoven movies, but I mean, particularly the things I remember. Obviously, this movie, a big one I remember most for this movie, but also he was in this great movie called Dave.
Okay.
And a lot of people know him famously for Midnight Run.
And he was in Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, certainly.
Oh my God! Okay, I know who you're talking about from Rosemary's Baby.
He was in Louis.
Yeah.
The newest season.
Didn't that Michael J. Fox show that's probably no longer around?
Sure.
What?
I saw that when I was like, I'm just saying, Rosemary's Baby left an impression on me. I saw that when I was like 17, and I was like, oh.
I need to not watch that in groups because every time I do, everyone hates it.
Okay, I did watch it in a group, and everyone was just, they didn't hate it, but they were all just like, oh shit.
None of the people I watched it with liked it. They're like, this isn't scary. I'm like, it's not, no.
No, it's disturbing as hell. But
it's a psychological thriller about a woman who was raped.
Anyway, so, let's transition away from rape, please.
I know, right? This is
we can't talk about the Muppets rape?
No!
Okay.
I mean, I already brought up that Sideways quote that
I know!
Which I'm still ashamed of.
Another anal reference on Muppets.
No.
I'm not talking about anal rape.
I know.
Yeah, he said nothing about anal.
No, but I'm just saying another rape-related reference.
And that wasn't rape-related. Oh, dear God, can we quit saying the word rape?
I'm sorry, I'll stop saying rape now.
Another case of Muppet 5 violation. Okay.
Okay.
Transitioning away from that, can I talk about Charles Grodin, please?
Please.
I actually did, before we came on here, I did some last-minute research because Charles Grodin apparently did an interview with someone about the Great Muppet Caper. A short interview he talked about his experience working on the movie.
Uh-huh.
So again, Charles Grodin in this movie, he brings that great comedic force he's really embracing. He brings legitimacy through how seriously he's taken this. Like, I always like the joke that his character in this movie, essentially, he's the mastermind behind a heist going on, and he falls madly. And the best thing about him is that he falls genuinely. It's not ironically he's doing this for like evil purposes or anything. Ooh, I'm going to manipulate her. And it's like, no, it's like he absolutely falls head over heels, madly, full-heartedly in love with Miss Piggy.
She's spectacular. She's absolutely spectacular.
Yes, he falls genuinely in love, and basically the movie plays. This is gonna be a kind of weird reference, but it's kind of like basically the way he plays, like he's in his own heist movie, like The Town, pretty much. He's in like his own version of The Town when Miss Piggy is,
but it's
as the Rebecca Hall character.
But that's actually a beautiful. Yeah, you're right. I can totally see that. Like in his own head, it's like going like it's super serious. Yeah. I like to think of him more as a Bond villain, though.
Okay. Yeah, it's hilarious though. He's playing it so seriously. Like he plays it so heartbrokenly when he has to basically frame Miss Pig. It's like these three kind of Charlie's Angel styles hench girls.
Oh,
Miss Piggy. Says you have to. Are you ready to do it? Yes. He's a little pained when he's saying this. Yes, but I wish I didn't have to. Essentially, that's what he's saying. He's overacting, but wonderfully so though.
There's a moment where it's like I don't know, for some reason this moment really sticks out to me where he's just staring longingly at Miss Piggy. It's when she's like kind of plowing through the office.
Yes.
And then one of the models he's associated, she's just like, "Why do you love her so?" And he's just, "I don't know. I just do."
Well, let me hit you with a few Grodin tidbits I learned from the interview.
Okay.
I mean, the one with Charles Grodin too. By the way, that scene when he's caressing her. He has Charles Grodin in his study. Because he does have love for this movie, because he in real life was good friends with Jim Henson. Again, probably another reason he was probably in that the Walt Disney World special, because he's
Sure,
really close with Jim Henson. There's actually he shared a real kind of tragic story where not too tragic, but it's kind of like a sad moment where he was getting interviewed by someone on one night, and basically he was like writing a play and he was starring in it, and he was a little stressed out. Like basically he's not stressed out, but he has his hands full, like he can't really handle interview stuff. And they basically asked him, well, can we do it some other time? Well, we just wanted to tell you that Jim Henson passed away, and his heart dropped, and like he was holding the script in his hand, he threw it against the wall. He's just like, he was just real heartbroken about it because he was really close to Jim Henson.
Man. Oh.
Really touching thing. I didn't know how close he was to Jim Henson. That really.
Oh, by the way, this is the 1-year anniversary of Robin Williams' death.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah.
Why are you bringing up Robin Williams? We only have one depressing bit, so we can't get too depressed now.
I thought it was later in the month.
No, it's today. It's today.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's now we're even sadder. But,
accordion sad hope music.
I don't know.
You can't play it yet. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's in. I believe it's an F, which this does not play. So.
Anyway, so
sad hope music for the accordion, not beating.
Anyway, so Charles Grodin, he mentions like in his study he has 2 pictures framed from the movie, like I guess maybe images or cells, perhaps. I'm not sure. Well, not cells, but like the film images. The point is like really nice photographs of him in his office of like one of him holding a gun to Kermit the Frog, which is kind of funny, and 2, it's of him like caressing Miss Piggy as he's looking lovingly into her eyes.
Of
like
course.
I believe it's like before she goes out there when he's like when he goes out there. It could be like when she has this really weird. It's kind of this pig, when she makes these references, sometimes it can be kind of hilarious, but kind of like, it's a little wrong, but it's funny. That like she's going through a drawer saying underwear,
Right.
and then just basically turns around. And they have really this kind of sweet romantic moment. Like Charles Grodin, he doesn't remember like all the stuff, like the plot of the movie per se, but he remembers like shooting with the Muppets. He loves. He reflects fondly on this movie, and he loves working Miss Piggy. He jokes throughout the interview about working Miss Piggy, saying, well, after the thing, there'd be calls placed to my penthouse apartment, and he's just making like fun jokes. He remembers it fondly, and which I thought was really nice. Again,
I also love his big musical number.
Oh, of course. We're going to get to that when we get to our next.
Sure.
But the other last thing on it is like I love that scene plays out of like all these other women, these things with long legs and everything. Well, I can see how that might disgust you after a while. That kind of long, tall, attractive type. So again, he's just so head over heels in love with her, and it's hilarious. Remember, let me remind you of something really hilarious, Charles Grodin, in the beginning of the movie. Remember his big intro?
Where he's all dancing and stuff?
No. I mean, way in the beginning when he's being walked across the street by he's playing a blind man to do the robbery to steal.
Oh, that's right.
And he's being walked by a Girl Scout. It's like such an innocent thing. Like he's not being mean to this Girl Scout. He's just walking across the street, and she wanders off, and also he steps on Sweetum's hand, which makes it. Oh yeah, he's the bad guy.
Exactly.
Remember in the song, it's like it's sort of like villains.
Sweetums once again gets screwed over in this movie.
And like it says villains, and then they like cuts him sinisterly, maniacally saying, "And me, dun dun dun." And of course he steps on Sweetum's hand. Not through any fault of his own, but he steps on his hand, and poor Sweetums falls down the manhole and gets blown up. Poor Sweetums,
man, he can't catch a break in these
movies.
movies.
He can. He cannot. Oh, it'd be hilarious. He'd be like an if he got promoted to an executive in the.
Oh, that'd be great.
Like, give Sweetums some credit, But anyway, so. So the point is, Charles Grodin, he's fantastic in this movie. One of my favorite parts. I think he's what kind of makes this movie really stand out as probably the funniest movies, in my opinion. Because Charles Grodin's a wonderful actor, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I'm sorry to go on, but he's like a big human actor,
All right, so with that in mind, let's transition into a musical interlude.
Well, no, Tiki, cameo checklist.
Oh, cameo checklist. Okay, I'm sorry.
Let's quickly run through the rest of our stars here.
Okay, so we have oh, well, do you want to go over the ridiculousness that is the John Cleese cameo?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Adventure
wonderful
Blue, do you
actor
remember
John
this?
Cleese.
I do not. I'm
Okay.
looking it up now.
It's like a really honest version of Oracle, you know?
Exactly.
It's like, I didn't know, but now I'm looking for it, Batman. I was kind of BSing you before, but now I'm looking for it.
So basically, Piggy, she's pretending to be Lady Holiday.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yeah, they go to the big house,
Okay,
basically
okay.
being picked up at this avenue she just made up at the top of her head. Like Highbrow Street or something like that.
17 Highbrow Street.
Yeah.
It is something like that.
Basically, she just kind of burglarizes herself into the house, kind of breaks into it subtly.
Oh my god.
And,
Right. I think this really is like the Steve Martin moment of this movie. This is like the equivalent of Steve Martin.
So one, it's a hilarious setup of John Cleese and his wife, who we probably should have listed on there, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Him and his wife in the movie, they're pretty much like, they're saying, basically, it's like they're having just some ridiculous conversation. Tiki, do you remember what the conversation is?
Oh god, I think the whole point of the conversation is that it's just ridiculous and meaningless.
It's like something about, like, if I've never felt...
It's like the most benign, like, rich, like...
Oh yeah, I remember. I think I remember.
conversation.
It's like, if I were basically, it's something like, if I were either this bored with all my money, I'd buy. What would you buy with that money? Something like that. Something so mundane of like, well, what would you buy
Like
if you were bored?
if you were poor, like what would he buy?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Something.
ridiculous
What?
like
Yeah,
that.
what ridiculous thing would you buy? He basically is just kind of he's just thinking, oh well, I'm not really sure. It just kind of goes on for a while, drags on, and then I love kind of the tour under duress too, of like, Kermit the Frog says, yeah, I want to see the place. And Miss Piggy gives him kind of this look of like, really? Just like, you really want to see you guys just gonna make everything worse? But okay, I'm gonna keep up an appearance here. He says, oh, here we go, music's all speedy and kind of neat. And then John Cleese kind of opens the thing, he's ready to swat him, but then he...
Well, hold on, I love the build-up where it's like his wife just keeps, it's just like, oh yes, I do believe there's a pig that's trying to scale the house. And they just pay it absolutely no mind. It's like, it's whatever.
Yeah,
And
but
it's like
then...
he keeps bringing it up. They keep bringing it up.
And one of the hilarious things, I love the delivery by this guy. So, again, we have a good actor, John Cleese here. The way he delivers this, I love it. When it basically, he grabs like a fire poker, signs about like the SWAT, any intruder, but they realize it's these two harmless, characters. It's Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. He says, oh, sorry. And basically, the way they approach it is saying, basically saying they're on their way, and they're asking, can you recommend a good restaurant?
Well, I just love his delivery of like, oh dear, well, I'm sorry. In fact, gentlemen, if there is, in fact, anything at all that I can do for you, like, he just becomes, like, super polite about these two strangers in his closet.
This movie is kind of the ultimate advertisement for London, I think. And it's like, man, people are really polite in London.
Yeah.
I'm saying you can break into their house and they'll recommend a good restaurant for you. And with that, we have my
They'll beat themselves up over, like, if it's like a...
Yeah, forget Clockwork Orange. It's the other way around, folks. It goes a lot differently than the Clockwork Orange.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I love the way he says, oh yes, well, I could recommend the Dubonnet Club. I just love the way he says Dubonnet Club. Okay, anyway, so let's run through the rest of our cameos we do have.
Okay, we have Oscar the Grouch in a very brief cameo.
And this is the second time we have a Sesame Street cameo. Yeah.
We have Peter Falk.
Oh, I love Peter Falk.
Oh, Columbo.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about his cameo for a minute. So his is hilarious. It's just that when you're a kid, you don't really get it, but looking back and now knowing what Columbo was, like, oh, it's hilarious. Just he comes like he's Kermit the Frog after the hilarious bear with the hat line. He's just kind of there with like the glass slipper, a little harkening back to Cinderella.
Exactly.
Basically, just looking sadly into it. And then
the Muppets referencing Disney being owned by Disney.
Certainly. Well, I mean, they had like an agreement.
Look at them now.
With
I know, right. Well, hey, nothing will be as surreal as the end of the Star Wars special, though. Oh my God.
Anyway, so then Peter Falk just walks by looking like kind of not a homeless looking guy per se, but just looking like kind of a shady
no,
kind of
he's like a hobo. Like, not necessarily like your modern day kind of homeless guy, but like this, the more classic, like kind of more charming, like hobo guy, like a box.
More charming hobo.
I'm thinking just less.
That's what I'm saying. Hobos were, back in the day before we got into
Just
back in the day, man,
I'm
those
thinking-
people were more charming.
I'm
Like,
being
thinking-
nice, riding the
they had a
rails.
jaunty spirit to them, man, before crack was introduced to our culture.
I'm
Anyways.
thinking less homeless, more down on his luck because he is selling stuff. I don't know. It could be.
That's true. He is very much a con artist.
I'm just thinking down on his luck, and maybe he's homeless. I don't know.
No. I think the watch thing is definitely a con artist thing.
That's what I'm saying. Point is, the guy wanders by. He's like saying, I've seen you a type of situation before. Let me guess. He basically lays out the whole thing, just saying, and then you sell it, and your brother tries to talk you into an investment, and then it goes south. And basically, the end of it is, it goes through this whole long spiel. It's like Columbo-like spiel. It's like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here, but you go on. So basically, a whole Columbo-ish stretch there. And by the end of it, it said, and basically, that's where you end up now. With the remnant of your glass shoe factory.
Oh God!
Basically, like a glass shoe factory. That's basically because he insinuates that Kermit's in the hole of an investment in a glass shoe factory.
Oh.
And Kermit Frog now this scene rewatching, I gotta tell you, I kind of picked up on some stuff rewatching this with Kermit the Frog here. It's just it's Kermit just saying to him, "Man, you are just 100% not. Yeah, that is amazing. You are 100% wrong. Not a thing you said is right. Not a thing. And I can tell you, here's the thing I captured when I rewatched it. It's just, I don't know. The way Kermit is puppeteered in this scene, it just struck me. Man, that is just such a realistic performance coming out of a Muppet.
And then he also breaks the fourth wall. He's like, "Well, Mister, if you don't mind, we're shooting a movie here, so."
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were shooting a movie. And then it's just, let me ask you one more thing, kid. Want to buy a watch?
He gets all shady, and then Kermit's just like, no.
This is how movie stars. Really funny, but with that, I can tell you, it's such a rewatch it when you get a chance. Everyone out there, because again, first of all, it's a fantastic movie. Rewatch it anyway, but really rewatch it. Look at Kermit follows just his reactions to him telling the story. It's really realistic. It's uncanny. It really is.
Oh, it always blows my mind just how much emotion,
all the subtle nuances,
and quote unquote acting that they're able to get into the Muppets.
That's what I'm saying. It's astounding. Just looking at that one scene, it's hilarious. But it's such a realistic. I can imagine Kermit's a human actor doing that sort of thing. It's like,
that's
man.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Okay.
So, we have Robert Morley.
Yeah.
We have Peter Ustinov.
Certain. Do you remember who our British guy who gives them, again, basically this is an advertisement for, a lot of people are friendly in London that the minute they land in the pond, it's like, excuse me, do you know where we can stay? What is your income?
I don't know who that guy is.
Let's find out.
We're humming
That
music.
is Robert Morley.
Yeah!
Plays the British gentleman by the pond.
That guy was really nice. I like that guy.
British Gentleman by Pond.
Correct. That is his title.
Yeah, but seriously, it was just such a everyone in London in this movie is very polite, and I love that.
Right. And then we have Jack Warden as the newspaper editor.
And wonderful performance there. And I love the running gag. Whenever he hits the desk, everything jumps.
Ah!
I gotta tell you, let me tell you real quick. I had the weirdest experience when I was watching some of the Disney channels. Sometimes we watch it with commercials. They edit out the weirdest things. They edit out the gag of the stop the presses gag of that, or some they cut out that, and they cut out when he hits the desk and Gonzo jumps. They edit those parts out. I'm baffled by that. Why would they edit that out?
Probably to fit better into the time constraints.
It's ridiculous. You're cutting out some of the good gags, man. Come on, the whole every time he hits them, Gonzo just randomly jumps. They all jump, and then Gonzo is scared so much by he jumps up to the ceiling lamp.
And then finally we have Jim Henson in kind of a walk-on Alfred Hitchcock type cameo.
I don't know. It's more technically, Tiki. It's like he's caught in the reflection of the stepping out of the star scene. I mean, can you remember anywhere else he was in?
Well, no. You see him in the restaurant.
Oh,
I thought that was the Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh yeah, no.
He's in the restaurant. Gonzo's going around taking pictures.
Yes, I'm sorry, Tiki. You're absolutely right.
Okay, fun fact. The woman that he's with in that, when he's getting his picture taken, the woman that he's with is actually the woman that went to Imagineering and developed the Muppet attractions there. So she did Muppets Mobile Lab.
That's
That
awesome.
was pretty fun.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
But anyway,
So
yeah, but
it's basically like that woman who was with Jim Henson in the restaurant. It's basically that woman's job to integrate the Muppets into the theme parks. That's what that's what her main job is.
I'm
So
sorry,
there you go.
Tiki, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right on that. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, he's in the restaurant.
It's a great cameo too. I feel bad that I forgot about it. It's just like he's just
Yeah.
there, like Gon's just taking pictures of people around trying to make some cash so they can foot the bill for dinner.
Exactly.
You know, it's pretty funny. He's like steaks are like the price of an Oldsmobile.
And like I said, I very much consider it an Alfred Hitchcock cameo, especially because Henson actually directed this movie. So
Yeah, and the thing I'm referring to is that it's called a rumor that you can see Jim Henson like in the reflection when the bed's going up when Kermit jumps from it. See, you caught that much better than I. I'm sorry. It's been a while. So unfortunately, I don't have this on DVD yet, so I was going off the last time I saw it on TV for this one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you for catching.
Of course.
So, what else we got? Anything else?
I don't think so. All right, so I guess with that in mind, let's...
Did we check them off?
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Right here. Ooh. Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Oh, I was saying at the bottom. There's another box underneath there. It's fine.
Yes, that's because, you were listing off Robert Morley, and I started writing Robert again, and then I realized, shit, I already have Robert Morley.
Okay, we're good. Sorry, folks. Yeah, we got them all checked off there. We're good. Let's move on to the next segment.
And I don't quite know what to do with that yet. I'll have to probably just cross it out, because I'm an idiot.
Okay, so next segment. So it's time for a musical interlude.
Oh yeah, the musical interlude. Yes, indeed.
And the music this time around done by Joe Raposo.
Got some great songs here. We got
Again, for me, I gotta tell you, I think I love all the songs in this one. As much I like the songs in the other one, except for that one Miss Piggy song.
Mhm.
These songs are fantastic.
I need to. Can you take us through the titles of the songs?
Sure. So we start off
that's
with.
The thing I'm kind of fuzzy
Okay,
on.
we start off with my favorite musical moment of the whole movie. Hey, a movie.
Yeah, it's
movie.
I feel like that whole opening is very reminiscent of We're Making a Sequel from.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
of course, I feel like this whole movie is almost kind of like a mirror image of Muppets Most Wanted in a way.
It is.
Yeah. And that's kind of the idea is like if the Muppets are kind of not rebooting but kind of relaunching, kind of capturing the old magic again. The idea is like the Muppets is kind of their emotional kind of with a lot of humor in this. Their emotional road trip.
Yeah. They should be going to a city in their next movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they went to a lot of.
Look forward to that.
Well, technically, they're kind of going to a city with this new series. Technically, I assume they are.
I mean.
No, you're right.
Well, I mean, they've always kind of if we assume that the Muppet Show took place in Los Angeles, I don't necessarily think they went anywhere.
Yeah.
Just
anyway.
I'm sorry.
I don't think they went to your city. The Muppets take Savannah.
Yeah. Do you remember? Are they in New York at the beginning of this one in the Hey movie sequence? Because do you remember the newspaper headlines? I think it says New York Times or something.
Well, New York Times is sold everywhere.
Ah, well, that's not.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
but
they're at the office. Though. That's the thing. They're at the office of the paper, so I assume it's them. But I can't remember if it's New York Times or not.
I want to say it's L.A., but I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
I can't remember what the newspaper headline was. I mean, if it said New Yorker or something like that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You might be right. Point is, they're in a city because basically it feels very Hollywood. So L.A. I think would be the appropriate fit, but we don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
It makes sense because when we go to New York in the next one, so.
And L.A. would also fit more with a noir style than New York would.
There are a lot of New York noirs.
There are.
I feel like there's more San Francisco and L.A. noir. Though.
There's more like Hollywood noir. So
yeah. And also, don't count out San Francisco. A lot of noir in San Francisco.
Oh, certainly. And anyway, point. So, Hey Movie, I think, is a fantastic. It's one of my favorite songs. Basically, my favorite musical moment in the whole thing. It's just this great, catchy introduction to Muppets. Gets you in a really good Muppety spirit. All this wonderful visual stuff happening in it, like all these practical effects, explosions, car accidents, all this action going on while Gonzo's taking a picture of a chicken. And while it's happening, we're getting a lot of plot, a lot of good exposition through songs. Just like the moment, like, wait a minute, go on, Kermit. And then Kermit's just walking us through. So in this movie, myself, Fozzie, Gonzo, and myself, we play ace reporters. And then basically, there's a lot of good plot in this opening song, and it's really fun. It really gets you into it.
Of course, Lady Holiday gets her jewels stolen right there. We get that all set up.
And we get that awesome moment with Charles Grodin. And me, dun dun dun. We get good stuff. Well, and of course, Sweetum and a bunch of monsters and everything. It's going bananas and it's awesome. A lot of great stuff in this opening. And of course, it culminates like everybody, and me.
We get Happiness Hotel, which for my money, I think is probably my favorite song in this.
Not funny. Two songs that end with photographs being taken.
Oh my god, and I love Happiness Hotel when the photograph goes off and they all have, like, the dazed eyes.
Yeah. Okay, so you want anything else you want to...
Well, I mean, how awesome is the location of the Happiness Hotel, just in general?
Oh, it's great. Now, what is the Beauregard's kind of the guy he stays there, too. He kind of drives there regularly. He's kind of like the chauffeur shuttle service, almost.
Right. Even though they literally have a shuttle bus, which they never actually use for transportation.
Yeah, they just use it for make a spectacle of themselves.
Right.
But I love also in that whole sequence the idea of well, how would you like to pay? Cash, credit, or sneak out in the middle of the night? We'll take a popular choice.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a little Happiness Hotel saying this is a crappy hotel, but you're welcome to stay because it's free.
But I love the song, though. I just think the song has such a good kind of, momentum to it.
We got rap bellhops. That's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I love how it's, it goes from Scooter, and then it goes to the rap bellhops. It's, a lot of different characters have lines. You're kind of quickly introduced to everyone.
It's very catchy.
It's a great way to just, okay, we had our good introduction, but this is we're in it now. This is all the Muppets just coming out. And then, of course, Sam at the end. You all are weirdos.
Of course.
All right, what do we got next?
Okay, next we have my second favorite song, I believe. I think we do. We have Kermit Getting Ready for the Date, don't we? And that is Stepping Out the Star.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like I
said,
I really like the Fozzie dynamic going on there.
Certainly, a great Fozzie dynamic, but also it feels like such an old-timey kind of Gene Kelly type number. It just feels fantastic. Stepping out the star and feeling fine. That whole thing. Just drench me in rich cologne and don't ask me why. And there's a really weird bit in the song. It's everyone points out Gonzo peeking at Kermit. Right. Really weird. So I love seeing Kermit getting dressed up in this. I
also love the idea of Kermit shaving.
Yes, I love that. And plus, you can tell he's just shaving bubbles off.
Right, exactly.
And it's hilarious. Yeah, it's just it's such a fun old timey sequence, and it's kind of like a Sinatra or a Gene Kelly type song sequence. It kind of reminds me of Robin and the Seven Hoods, you've either got or you haven't got style.
Sure.
That sort of thing. Really catchy, really nice. Really, it's so innocent, so fun. Stepping out with Star, hey, good times. Stepping out with the Star and feeling fine. As they're taking pictures and everything. It's really nice. Real jaunty tune, really nice.
Oh yeah.
So then we
have the Nightlife, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I really like this song. I think all the Electric Mayhem songs in the Muppet movies, I feel serve as good time capsules for the time period they were released in.
I gotta tell you, this one I'm not knocking it, but even as a kid and even to this day, if I had to rank them, this one would be at the bottom. Not because it's bad, because the other ones have to go somewhere. But this one,
I agree. It's definitely not one of the stronger ones, but I still really like it. I like the whole. Like I said, I like the fact that the Electric Mayhem kind of play there's a lot of emphasis on saxophones and everything, and I'm a big kind of music history buff, as is AdvBlueDude. So I don't know, I'm just a big Electric Mayhem fan. So I don't I feel like their songs are always kind of the least plot relevant songs in the movies, but more so kind of all right, this is kind of what the current landscape of music is kind of like.
Well, I mean,
you
it's
know
not
what I
as
mean?
good to me. It's not as good as Can You Picture That with the Electric Mayhem. You
No,
know?
I totally agree because that's a great song. That's a freaking awesome like.
But this is just
70s
transition
montage.
music, and the idea. I think the reason it takes me out of it is just supposed to be loud for loudness' sake to me. That's what it comes across to me a little bit.
All right, I like the idea of them taking them on the tour, you know, and seeing the nightlife.
No,
And
no, we're on
everything.
the visual. The visual's great. I'm just saying,
Right.
maybe not their best song, but I mean, it's fine though. It's absolutely fine.
All right.
Okay, anyway, so then we have two Miss Piggy songs. Let's see. So we
Okay.
got the fantasy song. Yeah, I don't know. The thing with the fantasy song is kind of I could never get the description's a little vague on it for this one. So it's kind of the first time forever song, but it's also essentially this is the one where I'm sorry, I think I'm jumping ahead. So I think we have Couldn't We Ride next. Sorry.
Oh my God! And I think if any song tries to go for a Rainbow Connection type feels here, it's this.
Well, remember visually, this is a big. This is kind of a big, Pixar. Let me give you an equivalent here. So if Pixar, if the always the philosophy of Pixar is they want to push the boundaries of the technology and everything with each movie, kind of push what they can do even further. This is the Muppets starting to do that with like their puppeteering technique. So here they actually got like a rig set up, so basically all the Muppets could probably fight seamlessly, and it looks fantastic.
The thing that still blows my mind to this day is all right, I get that the end shot they're all like hooked up on a rig, you know, like I get that. But what blows my mind is when all the people on the bicycles come riding by them, and it's like they somehow avoid the rig that's pulling the Muppet characters. I'm like, and then Piggy and Kermit doing the figure eights. It's mind blowing. It's still mind blowing. I honestly think it's one of the most impressive practical effects in the history of cinema. I really do.
And of course, you know, just Kermit the Frog on a bike's always a win. I mean, come on.
Oh, of course.
And also, again, that's where we get the old guys. That's where we get good old Stanton and Waldorf.
I think they have a great little walk-on role here.
Saying, hey, look, Mom, no brains.
That's one of the things I always appreciate about the Muppet movies is that they always know exactly when to have the certain characters.
Yeah,
they know that.
They're the Stan Lees of the Muppet universe.
Right. Oh, God.
Oh, imagine Stan Lee. Oh, you'd be hilarious if somehow in the next, whatever Muppet movie if they ever get to eventually, they have a Muppet movie basically with the old guys, they're sitting in the balcony or something, and Stan Lee's in the middle of them too. He a balcony seats too, so that's his cameo.
And Stan Lee's like all into it, while Statler and Waldorf are just like not into it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they insult it, and then Stan says, "I kind of liked it."
That'd be great. Oh my God.
Anyway, okay. So it's basically Couldn't We Ride. It's a nice song. It's
I mean, I don't. When I say Rainbow Connection, I certainly mean the visual splendor of it all, and not so much like Rainbow Connection is obviously the better song. I said in the first podcast, Rainbow Connection, one of the best songs ever written, bar none. I still stick by that.
There's like choruses around the world that just go bananas for it, you know. If you bring tears to people's eyes for just a minute, you play those chords.
Oh my god, yeah. Although I gotta say, I think Saying Goodbye is probably the sadder of the two songs.
Yeah, it is.
Just seeing Fozzie with the little teddy bear at the end, that always gets me. Oh my god. I'm just like, I was listening to that song on my iPod on the bus, and I heard Fozzie, and I was, oh my god, the little teddy bear, it's so sad.
Okay.
That's a great goddamn movie.
No, but I mean,
be patient.
That one's my movie.
See, folks, here's how it went. We all love Muppet Movie. This one's my movie, and next movie's BlueDragonFive's movie.
And then Muppet Treasure Island, I feel, is kind of like both me and Monkey kind of grew up with that one. All right.
Okay, anyway, so basically, you know, we look visual spectacle and the big kind of hallmark of the movie. Almost one of the big hallmarks of the movie is kind of Couldn't We Ride?
Sure.
All right.
I do think the song's very nice, though.
Yeah. Then we're kind of in a. Then the other songs of Miss Piggy. It's kind of weird to us because it's to the same tune, but basically there's a fantasy song is the one where Charles Grodin and Kermit the Frog are singing to.
But I just, oh my god, it cracks me up how into it Charles Grodin is.
Yeah, and before
he's just going balls to the walls with like just emotion.
Yeah, and we'll put a pin in that one just for a brief second here, because that one's kind of piggybacks, like, no pun intended. That one kind of. And it's in the similar tune, but differently to the first time it happens. Because first time it happens is the song we get during the wonderful dinner sequence, which again I love. I could go on for hours of how much I love the old timey nightclub in this movie. I freaking love it so much. Like the black suits, the black and white. It looks so nice. It's so pleasant.
It's kind of like the opening of Temple of Doom in a way.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But it's for the Muppets, and it looks so cool and nice. I want to go to that place, man. Seriously, even as a kid, I was like, man, that place looks really nice. Plus, they had the music playing and everything. Oh, it's nice. Big band music. It looks wonderful. Anyway, so during that scene,
Happiness Hotel would make an awesome theme park setting.
And why can't we have both?
Hey, it sort of is in a theme park.
Really? Where?
In the Muppet shop in MGM, right outside the entrance. It's like a huge Muppet shop right outside of Muppet Vision. And it has both the sets of the Happiness Hotel and the locker set
from
Muppets Take Manhattan. Yeah,
so
the
you
Happiness
can actually
Hotel
like walk in and everything.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
what
wow.
it is, it's
oh damn, that's cool.
What it like if you walk into the main door, there's like a little inlet, and to the right is the lockers from Muppets Take Manhattan, and then you walk into the actual like the store proper, and to the left, and like they have merchandise on it. You can like walk right up to it. They have the front desk, the Happiness Hotel, and one of the upper floors of doors above.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they have the upper floor?
Yep.
Wow.
But I can only take you to the lobby.
Anyway, so basically the first time there's a scene where basically it's kind of Kermit and Piggy falling in love after it's before he finds out the truth. Actually, man, I don't know the way that the listed him one.
It's after he finds out. It's after he finds out. Because couldn't we ride is directly after he finds out.
No, I mean I screwed him up though. Basically, the Wikipedia order I kind of followed a little bit of it. I got in the wrong order. So basically, it's first time it happens, then it's couldn't we ride because that's what they go on the date under the pretense that she is Lady Holiday.
Right.
So the point is, first time ends like he's kind of falling for Piggy, and she's dancing on the table. That's kind of the big thing. Remember, she's like that. Dun, 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 dun. And that's when Gonzo's making his rounds for the table around the whole thing, all that stuff. Then we kind of get the kind of a reprise, but really differently, kind of with the Charles Grodin Kermit the Frog, the fantasy song.
And of course, this is the first time we've seen Muppets interact with water, which was a big deal.
Oh yeah, now you want me to tell you how they did this, or you guys know already?
I kind of already know.
Yeah, actually, let me tell the folks at home if I
Go ahead.
So basically, folks, actually, it's really interesting. So basically, during the sequence, it's kind of such an operatic. Again, it's a momentous Buzzley Berkeley scale.
Exactly.
And
that's what I love about it.
It looks fantastic. It does like kind of this Buzzley Berkeley kind of the synchronized swimming type openings you get in the old movies, but with such grandiose proportions over such the silliest thing over a pig being a fashion model.
Right.
And however, it's played so operatically, like this is her moment to shine. This is her star-making moment. Again, the setting is this. It's not a runway anymore. It's like this lush. Like it's not a clam per se. I don't think it starts out as clam. It's just basically this rising platform or something.
Something like that.
The fireworks scene. You have this great thing on the side. You have Charles Grodin singing, and then Kermit the Frog, "Donna, Miss Piggy," and he's throwing himself into it. Donna, Miss Piggy. I don't remember the words. I'm sorry.
No, I
don't. At one point, I probably knew them, but I've kind of forgotten. Da 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 da, doo doo, a dream comes true.
All you need to know is the dramatic emphasis on Miss Piggy.
It's basically they're dueling. The shot is like they're dueling over Miss Piggy. I think that's awesome. Because before that scene, it was set up as before he decided to betray Miss Piggy because he had to. It's such a great drama. Forget soap operas. Give me a soap opera of this, and I'd watch it.
Oh, God.
So I freaking hate soap operas, but I'd watch this if this were actually a soap opera. Just basically, he's asking him, really? Like, there's another man. Was another frog. Says, really him? Says, well, he's a frog. I know. Just he's so entranced by the fact that it's that he's a frog. This Charles going a little let down by it, but he still holds her in great regard. Still loves her though. It's so hurts him so much. Anyway, so like they're dueling over her in song, and then she dives into it. I love the realization that's all in her head fantasy because she really just fell like 3 feet. Into the water, but basically in the musical when she dived down for a second, getting up to the platform. She's under the water. So basically, Frank Oz is being fed oxygen during this, so he can like stay under the water, puppeteering her. And when he's doing this, they went through like a whole bunch of Miss Piggies to, because the water would eventually break them down. And later on in Christmas Carol, they found out that to make this last longer, they would put them in oil instead of water.
Okay, right, exactly.
So here it's all water, and went through a lot of Miss Piggies. Which, by the way, on the Miss Piggy puppet as a whole, by the way, I just want to point out that she looks a lot better in this movie. This is when they kind of got the Miss Piggy look just right for this movie onward, because before the movie was better than it usually was in Muppet Show, and you get to see it actually in the Muppet Show, the one we're getting. They have a reference to the old Miss Piggy design, so they have the crabby looking Miss Piggy in the room as like another pig. It's such a like I can never.
That show is just gonna go nuts with like obscure references and stuff. I can just feel it.
And I can never pin down what's wrong with it, but it's just like the forehead or something's off on it or something. Like,
she has weird eyes.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the eyes and the forehead. Something's off with that. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, so then that's the musical number. It looks really fantastic. It's another like hallmark of the movie. It's visual spectacle and awesomeness. And then basically at the end we get a reprise of "Hey, a movie." But now it's for the credits though.
Indeed. All right. So with that in mind, let's take a road down the Rainbow Connection, which is essentially what ties all these movies together. What running gags do they keep coming back to? What running themes do they keep coming back to? What do you guys got?
Both films feature Muppets.
Well, he's not wrong. Let's see.
Do I win?
Yes, you do. You know what? You win.
What?
Boy, now
your Christmas in July list.
Tiki, you're
very
I always wanted
very
that.
valuable.
No, don't give him that. That's a rare collector's item.
The disaster artist. But I'm glad that...
Oh God.
Tiki, you're taking away Monkey's shtick. He's the guy who reaches off screen to pull
here, it's right there. It's right there. See it?
What?
The disaster artist.
Anyway.
I can't pull you up because it just shows your avatar if I open.
That's
I go specifically to you. So I'm seeing you from the small little box in the corner.
Oh, well,
okay,
yes.
back to the Muppets.
It's there.
I do.
Back to the Muppets.
Yes.
So here's a runner here. So Gonzo being armed with special information that no one else.
Sure.
It's not that a percentage of people that key people don't realize. Like only the Muppets or him specifically know.
I definitely think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. We get the setup of different continuities. We're going to see that come back definitely with other movies down the line, like being completely different continuities, being in a movie in this case.
I think. Well, like we said, Sweetums kind of having bad luck, I think, is kind of another runner in a way. Of
course.
Miss
Piggy's delusions of grandeur, all of these high-profile type occupations she's going for.
And also just kind of the star-eyed moment where Miss Piggy and Kermit meet.
Oh, of course, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, we mentioned that in the other one too. But yeah, we're gonna keep getting that one here and there. We also got some cross-species illusions.
Right. Oh God.
So we're gonna just kind of like splicing together species, which we're gonna get down the line too, and like talk about it also.
Mm.
Like here we got kind of Kermit and Fozzie's movie daddy.
We don't really have a Deus Ex animal here, do we?
What?
A Deus Ex animal?
In this case, yeah, I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess it is.
I mean, the most he has at the end is he kind of like he pulls that grate out, but he doesn't really do much. Not in this movie. He has, I think, Animal's most memorable role in this movie is probably at the very opening with, being the MGM lion who proceeds to eat the whole set.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tiki. I thought you were saying something else, but yeah, you're right about the Deus Ex. I mean, we have used that before.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making sure you don't consider anything here a Deus Ex animal.
No, yeah, I think he did because remember he was like he was involved in the baseball diamond, but I don't know. He didn't. I guess he didn't save it, but he. Actually, no. He scared the dog off, so he was a Deus Ex animal.
Wait, wasn't Rolf the one who?
Wait. Animal did something in that scene, didn't he?
Because Rolf was the one that talked to the dogs, and he's like, "Oh, it's always good to know a second language."
Yeah, Rolf talked to the dog. I could have sworn Animal did something. He bit the bars. That's what he did. He bit the bars.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
And also, he's in the opening. It doesn't really connect that much. In the opening, he's like the MGM line, but he bit the.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But still, also though, he did bite the bar, so he was a plot. He was a Deus Ex Animal in this movie.
My favorite thing about the MGM opening is that how he notices the hot air balloon with Kermit and Fozzie on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's something. Air travel through balloon. Well, actually, less air travel through balloon. I'm saying Gonzo longing for the air travel. He says, I want.
Of course.
Actually, we glazed over a segment, Tiki.
What did we glaze over?
We glazed over Muppet Moment.
No, that's coming up.
No, it goes before Rainbow Connections.
You're right. I fucked up. Well,
okay, that's the last Rainbow Connection I got. Just Gonzo wanting to travel through the air. Do we have anything else for Rainbow Connections before we backtrack?
I'm sorry. Sesame Street cameo?
Yes, certainly.
Okay, that's about it. That's about all I got.
Okay.
Bicycles?
Yes.
Well, I think we're going back to London, aren't we? In Most Wanted?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, so going to London. Yeah.
Songs?
Well, look, you're not even trying it anymore.
Well, Muppets in Space doesn't have songs. It just has
wait.
Yes, it does.
No, it has songs at the end, Tiki.
They sing, what the hell is it? What the
Celebration.
fuck do they, yes.
Sing Celebration.
Yes.
It doesn't have original songs.
It's a song.
It's a song.
That's what bothers me, is that it's not original songs.
Chorus of the shows, of the songs in the Muppet Show.
Point is, there are songs.
Vaudeville songs. Or pop.
I'm not talking about the Muppet Show. I'm talking about the Muppet movies, which have a very respectable.
Are a spin-off of the Muppet Show.
Fine, save it for them. Point is, there are songs.
They have a very respectable history of songs up until, like, even the songs for Muppet Treasure Island are awesome. But then Muppets in Space just comes along and shits on everything. Oh, and speaking of Muppets in Space, the moment where they're in the airplane and it's Kermit's in the frog container, Fozzie's in the bear container, and
they have TVs apparently, and that's hilarious.
And then Gonzo's in the whatever container.
Yeah, okay. There's
let's just chalk that up like reasons why Muppets in Space shouldn't exist.
Well, let's just chalk it up to again the question about Gonzo's I was gonna say nationality, but actually
his nationality.
He's Italian. It's obvious. Can you tell by the nose?
Well, technically he's an alien.
Jesus Christ.
Tiki, yes. Tiki.
I'm Italian myself. Okay. I'm taking shots at myself.
That's a bit.
I'm taking shots at myself, so you can't be mad at me.
I don't know.
I'm Italian.
I'm gonna be damn it.
I'm like half full-blooded Italian.
It's my duty as an American to be offended by anything.
Yeah.
And I am.
This is the thing that you're getting offended by, and not the whole rant about. What we have a whole rant about, like.
Oh, rape?
Rape. Yeah. This is what you're getting offended by. Really, I didn't think that was that bad. I actually.
No, we weren't supporting it. We were simply talking about it.
The nose thing's fine. I'm just saying the way that kind of came across, like, whoa.
That rape, though.
Can we get off the way? Can we please stop raping the movie, please?
Well, if it isn't Indiana Jones, how you doing there?
Okay, easy.
Oh, God.
This is what Indiana Jones said. Okay, so... Point being, question over what Gonzo is.
Sure.
Okay, let's backtrack for a moment. Actually.
All right. So to the
memorable Muppet moments.
Memorable Muppet moment. All right. You want to go first to Adventure Blue Dude? Probably not.
No.
No. All right. Come up with a favorite scene. Come up with a favorite scene.
My favorite scene is I like the John Cleese cameo.
Okay,
there we go. Yeah. We already talked about that extensively.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Kind of a cop out, but okay.
Come on.
I'm kidding. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Nice.
My Muppet moment is the fourth wall breaking insanity that is when Kermit gets on Miss Piggy for overacting. And then all hell breaks loose. I really do think it's quite dark. I don't know why these.
Dark.
I think it's dark. I think it's really dark, actually. I think it's like, it's the moment, I think it's the most raw that Kermit and Miss Piggy's relationship ever gets.
Yeah, it's raw, but it's funny.
Okay, my favorite moment in that is when Miss Piggy just turns to the camera and screams. She's just like they're just shouting at each other, and then she just turns, like, she looks directly into the camera and she's like, ah! She just screams.
Then basically she turns away crying, and then Kermit snaps her out. It's like, Piggy, we're in the middle of the scene. We gotta get back to the movie. Okay.
But
and then basically pretend like the argument didn't happen, which is great breaking the fourth wall.
I love the freaking scene, though, is that, like, it actually gets genuine. It goes from, like, Kermit and Miss Piggy just yelling at each other, and Kermit kind of being a little bit of an asshole.
No, he's in the right, though. Come on.
No, but I mean, when he's just like, all right, Pig, just walk.
She gets to be a handful. Okay, yes, though, we can't just be the receiving end of this relationship.
Are we really fighting about which puppet was more correct?
Oh, they're fighting about it. Why can't we?
This is really the discussion that we're having.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Would you like to weigh in on it?
I think they were both wrong.
Okay. Move on.
Okay, what's your favorite Muppet moment?
Okay, my favorite Muppet moment. It's a few things, but because there's some music in the dancing at the dinner at the Dubonnet Club, but that's and the twins gag. We've kind of covered those already. But my favorite gag is it's so funny. Kind of similar in the similar vein to Guardians of the Galaxy. My favorite part of the movie is probably the opening credits. I love it so much. It's.
I don't blame you. It's really memorable.
Yeah, seriously, it's them because it's so pleasantly and so mundanely breaking the fourth wall as they're flying a hot air balloon, and there's like talking, and there's like commenting on the opening credits. And like, well, what are we doing? Oh, we're just waiting for the opening credits, and then of course the last one being Jim Henson's name says
that's great. I love that.
And of course this Fozzier's, or I believe Fozzie or Gonzo, I think it's Fozzie, says, "Oh no, does anyone even read this?" And then Kermit says, "Well, sure they do. I'm sure they have families."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
really
great.
nice.
Also, like asking questions like, "What does BSC stand for?"
Right.
Well,
You look that up?
I feel as though I should know what that is.
I know. I feel like you should.
I think it's bachelor's in something.
Bachelor's in some sort of camera? I don't know.
I know that a lot of people are BFAs, which is Bachelor in Fine Arts.
Okay.
BSc. Bachelor of Science.
There we go.
Wait, maybe not.
Yeah, I think there might be more than one abbreviation for that.
All right.
Yeah, it says Bachelor of Science. Fuck it, yeah.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I think it's like broadcasting something. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Anyway, we transition into our last segment of the
evening. Yeah, that opening's great, and it had transitions into Hey Movie.
Sure.
Two favorite parts of the movie. Okay, go on.
Let's transition into just what would Statler and Waldorf think of this movie? What do you guys got?
Well, I liked it. Which part did you like? The ending. Oh, that's probably what they'd say.
Didn't I make that same joke? We can't come up with these Statler and Waldorf jokes. We can't. They're hard.
No, we came up with a different one. I think.
Did we? I think I made the same joke about like, oh, I like the ending. I don't know. Go back and watch.
All right, fine. Let's do another one just to be safe. Someone come up with something
just to be safe. AdvBlueDude, Statler and Waldorf joke.
I'm trying to think.
I did the last one, so I've
know.
done my simple duty.
I know it's really close to what you were saying, but I was going to say the only thing great was the ending.
It appears that the only thing great was the ending is the only Statler and Waldorf joke.
You could do something with it being a caper.
What did you think of the mystery? I couldn't follow any of it.
I wish somebody stole this movie.
There we go. Yeah, okay, there we go. I wish somebody would have stole this movie. What do you think, the idiot? I couldn't follow any of it. All right, good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, folks, we gotta retool that bit.
We're not writers.
No, we're not.
So, transitioning actually into the last segment.
Yes. Yes. Henson
Henson.
Humblement.
Henson Holman. Let's talk about kind of the themes, the ideas, and what Jim Henson kind of tried to communicate with us with this. Especially, this is actually an interesting fact. This is the only Muppet movie he directed personally.
Indeed. Yeah. And I think it's definitely like the Muppet movie that kind of holds up in terms of just having a ton of sight gags, a ton of humor. You know, it's really like it's not necessarily the most emotional Muppet movie per se.
No, but it's the most entertaining. Probably.
Exactly. And I feel like that's where Henson's sensibilities kind of come into play. There's a couple, like, I definitely think in terms of, like, Henson's actual, like, moral code and whatnot, I feel like it's very well represented in the Fozzie and Kermit dynamic.
Yeah.
Especially the moment, like I said, where Kermit's just like, Fozzie, you can come. You know, I feel like that is, like, quintessential Henson right there. I
like
feel
being
like that's
supportive to those around you. That's kind of the message there. And I think some other messages that are kind of in there is like going to new places and embracing grand adventure. I think that's a kind of a message within the movie, you know?
I also feel like the residents of the Happiness Hotel coming together is, you know, kind of like the surrogate family sort of thing.
Certainly, and with that, I think it's kind of like, you know, you should strive to do the right thing. You know, Miss Piggy's been wrong; she lied to us. Well, it's no difference. You know, we should help her out.
Also, I feel like this is kind of a running thing that Kermit just at some point in the movie always asks the villain, like, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah, that's really nice. You're just like, he's just trying. They try to talk down the bad guy, which is always a good move. You know?
And with Doc Hopper, it was like a very emotional moment.
It was. I don't think you're bad, man, Doc.
And with this, it's more just played for laughs because he's just like, oh, it's very simple. I'm the bad guy.
Which again, oh my god, I don't want to get into it again because I love Charles Grodin so much. But again, just that. Well, it's just the fact that, you know, they could have given up. Everyone wanted to go. Then Fozzie gave a speech. Basically, we got to do the right thing. Which, you know, is a thing. Yeah, I think that's a thing we can all jive to. You know.
Absolutely.
Okay, basically, overall, is kind of final thoughts on the movie with that. It's like, I think it's such a rewatchable movie, such an enjoyable film. It really is, you know.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, just I would watch this movie like 10. I just wish it was kind of on a loop sometimes. You know?
I think this movie is kind of like the Pirates of the Caribbean of Muppet movies in the sense that, like, every time you quote unquote go on it, you see something new.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, Muppet's Treasure Island could technically be the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, I don't know if Pirates of the Caribbean is the best analogy for that, Tiki, but I see what you're saying.
I always use Pirates of the Caribbean as a
I totally understand.
For something where it's like every time you see it, it's like, oh, there's something new. That's a go-to analogy for me as Pirates of the Caribbean.
Or the Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion, yeah. Fair enough.
Eddie Murphy did this, and that was.
God, don't remind me of Eddie Murphy. That's
don't bring that here.
Guillermo del Toro did this and that one. Oh wait, no, he didn't.
Del Toro, however, yeah, he's going places.
Oh wait, no, he didn't.
That's making slow progress.
Yeah, slow, very
just
slow.
like with Hellboy 3.
I don't know if Del Toro will be alive to see it.
Oh, hey! Oh my! Oh! Ow!
All right.
Oh man, that came out of nowhere.
just like the Miss Piggy and Kermit fight.
Wow! That was.
Oh, I know all about your career, pig.
Then walk, pig, walk. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna walk. Okay. Anyway, so again, some happy notes to go out on.
Yes.
Alleviate some darkness within this episode. So again, Charles Grodin was a fantastic standout in this movie. It's really it's one of the most hilarious of the Muppet movies. Again, very watchable. It's immensely enjoyable. One of the classics. Again, for me, ranking it's always going to be this one. The original Muppet movie always kind of like neck and neck with each other. Hard to pick, but a wonderful film, a fun adventure, and I watch anytime. So what are we talking about next time, Tiki?
Well, I think BlueDragonFive should do the honors of introducing
we're talking about the best of the Muppet movies. And that is not
right after I get through my spiel saying this is one of my favorites.
That is
because it introduced the Muppet babies to the world.
Yeah. No, next time.
Is that really why?
No. Next time, whatever that may be, we will be discussing Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yes. That is your personal,
Yes.
one that you're most attached to, you would say, right?
Where the
Yes.
Muppets take the Big Apple.
Okay. All right, and that is what we will be covering next time. Until then, when we connect once again with the lovers, the dreamers, and us.
All of us.
Miss Piggy!
Do you just let us go?
You want to walk, pig? Fine, walk. Just walk.